The year 2019 will forever be etched in human history as the year the world changed. It was a year that began like any other, with hopes, dreams, and plans for the future. But as the months rolled on, an invisible enemy was quietly making its way across the globe, setting the stage for an unprecedented crisis. A novel coronavirus, SARS-CoV-2, emerged from the shadows, igniting a global pandemic that would claim millions of lives and disrupt life as we knew it. This microscopic menace, initially detected in Wuhan, China, soon became a household name, altering the course of history in ways we could never have imagined. The COVID-19 pandemic, as it came to be known, swept across the globe with alarming speed, leaving a trail of devastation in its wake. Cities that once buzzed with life fell silent, their streets eerily empty. The virus did not discriminate, affecting people of all ages, races, and backgrounds. Economies crumbled, healthcare systems teetered on the brink, and fear became a constant companion. Businesses shuttered their doors, hospitals overflowed with patients, and supermarket shelves were stripped bare as panic buying set in. The world was in turmoil, grappling with a crisis of unimaginable proportions. In the face of this unprecedented crisis, the world grappled not only with the immediate challenge of containing the virus, but also with a fundamental question: where did this deadly pathogen come from? Scientists and researchers worked tirelessly, seeking answers that could help prevent future pandemics. The answer to this question, far from being a mere academic pursuit, holds immense significance for preventing future pandemics and safeguarding global health. The race to develop a vaccine was on, with scientists around the world collaborating in an unprecedented effort to bring an end to the pandemic. It is a question that has sparked intense debate, fueled conspiracy theories, and strained geopolitical relations. The origins of the virus became a hotly contested topic, with various theories and accusations flying across the global stage, further complicating the already complex situation. The search for the origins of COVID-19 has been a complex and often contentious journey. International teams of scientists have conducted extensive investigations, examining every possible lead in their quest for the truth. Two main theories have emerged, each with its own set of proponents and detractors: natural spillover from an animal host and accidental release from a laboratory. The debate continues, with the world watching closely, hoping for answers that could help prevent such a catastrophe from happening again. The epicenter of the COVID-19 outbreak was traced to Wuhan, a bustling metropolis in central China. This city, known for its vibrant culture and rapid development, suddenly found itself at the center of a global health crisis. In the heart of this city lay the Huanan Seafood Wholesale Market, a sprawling wet market where live animals and seafood were traded in close proximity. This market was a hub of activity, with vendors and customers engaging in daily transactions. In late 2019, this market became the focal point of the emerging pandemic. The bustling environment, filled with a variety of animals and people, created a perfect storm for the virus to spread. The first cluster of cases, identified in December 2019, were linked to individuals who had either worked at or visited the market. These initial cases set off alarm bells among health officials and researchers. The presence of live animals, many of them known to harbor coronaviruses, immediately raised suspicions of a zoonotic origin. The close quarters and interactions between different species provided ample opportunities for the virus to jump from animals to humans. The market's crowded and unsanitary conditions provided an ideal environment for the virus to jump from animals to humans. The lack of proper hygiene and sanitation measures exacerbated the situation, making it easier for the virus to spread. Chinese authorities initially pointed to the illegal wildlife trade within the market as a possible source of the outbreak. The trade of exotic animals, often kept in poor conditions, was a significant concern. However, the exact animal source of the virus has never been definitively identified. Despite extensive investigations, the precise origin remains elusive, leaving many questions unanswered. While some early samples from the market tested positive for SARS-CoV-2, no live animals carrying the virus were ever found. This lack of direct evidence has complicated efforts to trace the virus's origins. This absence of a smoking gun has fueled speculation and cast a shadow over the natural spillover theory. The debate over the virus's origins continues, with various theories and hypotheses still being explored. The theory that COVID-19 originated from a natural spillover event aligns with a well-established pattern in virology. Many infectious diseases that have plagued humanity throughout history, including HIV/AIDS, Ebola, and SARS, have their roots in the animal kingdom. These zoonotic diseases highlight the interconnectedness of human and animal health and the risks associated with encroaching upon wildlife habitats. Proponents of the natural spillover theory argue that the emergence of SARS-CoV-2 follows a familiar script. Bats in particular are known reservoirs of a vast diversity of coronaviruses, some of which have the potential to infect humans. The intermediary animal that facilitated the transmission of SARS-CoV-2 from bats to humans remains unknown, but several candidates have been proposed, including pangolins and civet cats. The World Health Organization, in its 2021 report on the origins of COVID-19, concluded that a natural spillover event was the most likely scenario. The report, based on a joint mission to Wuhan involving international and Chinese scientists, acknowledged the challenges in identifying the intermediary host, but maintained that the evidence pointed towards a zoonotic origin. Despite the WHO's findings, the natural spillover theory has not gone unchallenged. Many scientists and researchers have continued to explore alternative explanations for the origins of the virus, driven by the need to understand the full picture. From the early days of the pandemic, whispers of a possible lab leak from the Wuhan Institute of Virology began to circulate. These whispers were fueled by a combination of circumstantial evidence and the lack of definitive answers about the virus's origins. The WIV, located just a few miles from the Huanan market, houses one of the world's largest collections of bat coronaviruses and had been conducting research on bat coronaviruses, including gain-of-function research, which involves manipulating viruses to make them more transmissible or pathogenic. This type of research, while valuable for understanding potential threats, also carries inherent risks. Proponents of the lab leak theory point to several factors that they believe lend credence to their hypothesis. They argue that the unique circumstances surrounding the outbreak cannot be ignored. The proximity of the WIV to the initial outbreak, which occurred in the same city, is seen as more than just a coincidence by those who support the lab leak theory. The Institute's research on bat coronaviruses, which was extensive and included experiments that some believe could have led to an accidental release, and alleged safety concerns at the lab have all fueled speculation about a possible accident. Reports of previous safety lapses and the high-risk nature of the research conducted there have only added to these concerns. Additionally, the lack of a clear animal source for the virus has been a significant point of contention. Despite extensive searches, no intermediate host has been definitively identified, and the absence of any evidence of widespread circulation in animals prior to the outbreak in humans have raised further questions. This gap in the evidence has led some to believe that a lab origin is more plausible. The lab leak hypothesis, initially dismissed as a conspiracy theory, gained traction as the pandemic wore on. As more information came to light, the theory began to be taken more seriously by both the public and the scientific community. And as questions about China's transparency and handling of the outbreak persisted, the Chinese government's reluctance to share data and allow independent investigations has only fueled suspicions. The theory became increasingly politicized, with some world leaders, particularly in the United States, openly questioning the official narrative. This political dimension has complicated efforts to reach a consensus on the virus's origins and demanding a thorough investigation. Calls for transparency and accountability continue to echo around the world as the search for the truth about the origins of COVID-19 goes on. So as we dive deeper into the topic, we start to see various perspectives emerging. It's clear that this debate is far from settled. On one hand, some argue that the benefits are undeniable. On the other hand, there are those who raise valid concerns. But what's really driving these differing viewpoints? Well, it's a complex mix of factors, really. And as we explore further, we'll uncover more layers to this ongoing discussion. As the evidence mounts, a shift in consensus begins to emerge. Researchers and policymakers start to reconsider their positions, driven by new data and insights. This evolving perspective marks a significant turning point in the ongoing debate. Despite the growing consensus, conflicting views persist. Some experts remain skeptical, pointing to gaps in the data and alternative interpretations. This ongoing uncertainty highlights the complexity of the issue and the need for further investigation. In the face of mounting evidence, some individuals and groups resort to denial and deflection. They challenge the validity of the research, question the motives of scientists, and seek to shift the focus away from the core issues. This resistance underscores the challenges of achieving broad agreement. Ultimately, the debate transcends academic circles and becomes a matter of global importance. The implications of the findings affect not just researchers and policymakers, but also communities and ecosystems worldwide. It is a reminder that the pursuit of knowledge is not just an intellectual exercise, but a crucial endeavor with far-reaching consequences.